Hey, everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man.
Hey, DGAM fam, this is Sean Lupton. I'm from Smackover, Arkansas. Real quick question. I recently bought a Truth. I guess not realizing that there's a difference between a regular Truth and an Emac Truth. I really kind of thought that like all Truths were Emac Truths, but after looking at the disc and seeing it, it doesn't have the Emac logo on the bottom. It just has the Truth. What's the flight difference in a regular Truth and an Emac Truth? Um, are they like thrown the same? Is it better for forehand or backhand? Thanks, guys. I appreciate the answers.
That's a good question. And before I let you guys get into the more finer details of the flight, let me explain. So the Truth is, well, at the beginning, was a disc created specifically for Eric because he's a world champion. We, of course, give him a signature disc. And he was actually able to be part of the process of figuring out how he wants it thrown. Not how he wants it thrown, how he wants it to be when he throws it. So he was able to work with Thomas and Latitude 64 and say, hey, I wanted to do this. I want to do this. And, of course, there's a whole nother story about the Truth and the verdict. But anyway, it ended up being the Truth was his disc. Well, something happened somewhere along the lines of the actual mold that what do you call it? Oh, it's just the mold, yeah?
Yeah, mold's right.
The mold, something happened, and the Truth started not being the Truth, or at least the way Eric had envisioned it. So Thomas went back to the drawing board and did some tweaks and finally came out with the disc that Eric wanted it. But we also noticed that the changes that had happened to the Truth were actually very popular. People liked the way it was throwing for them. So we came to the decision to keep the Truth as it was at that present time, and then also have the Emac Truth, which would be Eric's signature disc. So that's why we have a Truth and Emac Truth. But you guys tell everybody what it is exactly about the flight that is different between the two.
Sure. The Emac Truth, just as you said, has a little bit more stability, high speed and low speed stability, which means that it can handle more power. It'll fly on relatively straight line for somebody with I don't know, quite a bit of power. You can put some heat behind it and it'll fly pretty straight and just finish to the left for you straight out of the box. And then the regular Truths are quite a bit straighter out of the box and even have a little bit of right turn if you really get on them. And so that's what I carry an original Truth for. That's the one that you're talking about that you bought, Sean. I use that for like slower speed straight shots or slight turnovers. If I hit it pretty hard, it'll just turn on its own and hold over. And then the Emac Truths I use for most everything else. For my overstable shots, I use a moonshine for that. Just kind of my straight ones. I have a couple different ones that I like for that. Do you throw the original Truth or just the Emac?
I don't. Emac? Yeah, I just throw the Emac because I was a fan of the evidence.
Yeah,
and I could get that because I don't have a very big arm, so I could get that to flip just a little bit easier. And so I never really. I tried it. I used it for a couple of weeks. But I just had more confidence with the evidence.
Yeah, I'd say they're pretty comparable to one another. The really evidence simple. Probably has a little bit more turn.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yep.
Nice.